Space is the next big frontier, and with recent events it seems to be catching speed again. With the cost of space launches getting cheaper and cheaper, we will see a big increase in the amounts of missions every year. Here's some of the most interesting space missions that will take place in the years to come. The first upcoming space mission, which will take place next year, is the ExoMars 2020 rover, which will be operated by ESA and Roscosmos. The first stage of the mission has already been completed, which was to put a gas tracer probe in orbit around Mars. The probe has now been looking for methane and other gases on the Martian surface, and thus the rover will land in a suited area found by the probe. After landing, the rover will dig 2 meters underneath the Martian surface in order to look for well-preserved organic compounds. The goal of this mission is to better understand the properties of the red planet and hopefully find signs of past life. The rover is set to depart from Earth in 2020 and to land on the red planet in 2021. The second, but however most promising launch is of the James Webb Telescope. This telescope is to be operated primarily by NASA and ESA with help from the Canadian Space Agency. The telescope will give us better images of space than we have ever seen before, with images 7 times larger than the ones we've gotten from the Hubble telescope. The telescope will search for the first galaxies formed from the Big Bang, how galaxies evolved, and determine the possibility of life in other galaxies. The telescope will operate at around 230 degrees Celsius, that is minus 230 degrees Celsius, which means that the telescope won't be interfered by its own infrared emissions when receiving signals from its target. This telescope will be launched in 2021 if everything goes to plan. In 2022, we will see the first European mission to Jupiter, exploring the icy moons of the gas giant. ESA is planning to launch an Explorer probe which will observe and photograph Jupiter and its 3 largest moons, Ganymede, Callisto and Europa. The probe is set to arrive in the Jovian system around 2030, where it will spend at least 3 years. The goal of said mission is mainly to retrieve detailed observations of Ganymede and its ability to potentially host life. All of the 3 moons are thought to harbor internal liquid water oceans and are thus central to understanding icy worlds and their potential habitability. Around 2034, the European Space Agency will try to launch the Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, or also called the LISA. This antenna will measure and detect gravitational waves coming from binary systems and mergers of black holes. The LISA mission will use 3 satellites positioned exactly 2.5 million kilometers from each other that will be able to detect much fainter gravitational waves than ever before, with signals that are smaller than an atom from over 1 million kilometers away. These satellites will help us understand the nature of black holes and the early formation of galaxies and star systems. One of the most daring space missions planned is the private lunar mission by SpaceX, in which the known fashion innovator Yusaku Maezawa will be the first private passenger to ever venture around the moon. This mission is to be a stepping stone in order to fund the very ambitious project of bringing people to Mars, in order to start a human-led base on the red planet. This mission to the moon is to be the first mission to the moon with human cargo ever since 1972. The mission is to take part in 2023 and will last around a week. And as mentioned, this is a very important mission for the bigger project of colonizing Mars, as this mission will use the same rocket, aka the Starship rocket, which is also to be used for transporting cargo and humans between Mars. The aforementioned Starship is the first stage of the BFR rocket, which is to be a 118 meter tall monstrosity that will also be fully reusable for further launches. This rocket system is currently in its prototype phase and actually undergoing tests right now.